Hey everyone, welcome to this episode of the Persuasion Show. And this time I am gushing all over myself, all over this woman. But this is How They Persuade, where I have today with me Jill Stanton, who is not only my online crush, but also someone who I look up to in a lot of ways. So this episode is not just exciting for me because I want to share her with you, but also because I really want to see how she deals with crisis. She inspires me every day with the way she shows up in business, with her no BS yet not bitchy style, which is something that really I try to do. Because every time I try to do no BS, I instantly turn into a man-eating bitch, which is not what I'm going for. So thank you so much, Jill, for being here with me. Please tell us what you do. If there's any fool in this room who does not know you, please tell us what you do and who you are and why I love you so much.
Well, I am the co-owner of Screw the 9 to 5, which I run with my husband, Josh. And essentially, I'm going to give you like the short and sweet answer. We help people quit their jobs. So that's pretty much that. We help people quit their jobs and start online businesses. And we have a monthly membership community like you do. Ours is called Screw You, and it's essentially our cyber home base, and it's where we jam with our members. We help them get unstuck, get focused, and moving the needle in their business. And I feel like you just opened up like so many opportunities for that's what she said jokes. Like the whole, I don't even want to say it because it's really, I don't want to take the show down a notch already, but like I gush all over. I'm just like, oh my God, she opened me up to such a big joke, but I'm just going to let it.
Oh my God, that is so disgusting, Jill, even for me. And I have dealt with every form of bodily fluid that's out there, and it still disgusts me.
You brought me on. You did this.
Yeah, I did this. Yeah. Even when I was saying it, there was this one sane voice at the back of my head that was telling me not to do it. I did not listen to it. I'm sorry. I should have. I did not realize I was dealing with you.
Well, I mean, shit, right before we went live, you said it and I was like, I'm gonna burn you on that. And then you said it. And so I was like, now I have to follow through.
And being the fucking lady that you are, you did not let it go, because why would you let it go?
Why would I?
Okay, so now before the show is over, I'm going to make sure that I get even with you on this.
Of course.
I'm watching you
I expect nothing less.
Watching you like a hawk. Okay, so another thing that you did not mention, but I'm going to do that, is Facebook groups suck. They suck so bad. Suck so bad that I honestly have everyone on mute except Jill's community. Simply because not only does she, and I pride myself on attracting smart, ambitious, snarky people. And the only other community that I've found that has that caliber of people is Jill's community. So do check out her community. I'm going to link up to all of your links, but you're such a great community builder. And on that note of community building and how you attract all of these great people, I want you to tell me, in your business, what was your biggest OMG moment?
Okay, so that has to be our first ever $100,000 launch. So we created a product last year called Addicted. And it was kind of like a blend between a Facebook ads course and a sales funnel course. And we shot it with our, obviously our partner in there, but also she is our personal ad strategist. Her name is Amanda Bond. And we didn't really know what to expect. I mean, when we first approached her to essentially facilitate this program with us, we just thought it was going to live inside Screw You. And then we started mapping out the course, and we're like, oh my God, this could be an actual course. But of course, I get in my own head over all the things. And so as we were planning it out and making all these plans, we're like, oh my God, maybe we could make like 50 grand off it. And then once cart closed, I think we did over $112,000 off and this is what the coolest part, this was the OMG side of things, was off a $3,500 ad spend. And I remember telling so many of my online business friends, and the ones who, make the nils, were like, why the didn't you spend more on traffic? And I was like, I don't know. just,
This isn't mind-boggling ROI. I'm an accountant, so let me give you my professional accountancy advice, accountancy review of this. This is a mind-boggling ROI. Oh my God! And you're right.
that was a cool ass moment in our world last year. But that was probably the biggest one because I was not expecting that. Like all of us wrote down like our goals and like kept the papers hidden from each other so we wouldn't influence each other's opinions or intentions. And when we came out of it, I was like, holy shit, that's a cool feeling.
It is. Oh my God. And you and your husband seem to me, from the way I see you guys show up, you have very different personalities.
Very.
So how did the celebration go? Was it your face was like a emoji and his face was like a emoji? What?
Yeah, it was probably the emoji that's like a one like because he's so laid back. It was probably like a sleepy emoji because he loves napping. And mine's like the champagne popping bottle.
Exactly.
And Bond was in California at the time, and we were in Toronto. And I think she was like, got her day drink on and like passed out before even the cart closed. And we're like, what is happening here?
True OMG moment. Oh
yeah.
Love that. And tell me about I'll come to your WTF moment at the end because we have something, you have to share something that I am not happy with, but but tell me about your biggest FML moment where the sense of helplessness and the sense of why am I here? What did I do with my life was so profound that you wanted to, I don't know, swallow a cockroach or something.
Yeah, swallow some broken glass or something like that. That's what I felt like. So back in 2013, Josh and I had just started The Screw really in April 2013. And so by like August, we were like, we should definitely create our own product. We're going to blow this bitch up. Like, we're going to make all the money. And at the time, we still had our previous business that we built together. So Josh and I had like 32 different websites in different areas, skincare, weight loss, beauty, all that kind of stuff. And one of the main things we used to grow those businesses was guest blogging. And since it was successful for us, we figured, obviously everyone in the world wants to know about guest blogging. We might as well create an entire course around guest blogging. And we did. We devoted $5,000. Who spends $5,000 creating a course, these fools, because they didn't know any better, and 3 months of our time creating a product called Badass Guest Blogging. Please don't ask.
I will talk about the name.
That was the last time Josh named anything, although he tries to put it on me saying I named
such a sucky name, I'll be honest.
It was terrible. Well, okay, so it's a precursor of what was about to happen.
I would not buy it on principle because the name sucks so hard.
Thanks, B. I appreciate it. Well, it turns out you are just like everyone else out there because when the cart opened, we were like, holla, we're going to wake up. We were living in Thailand at the time, so cart opened while we were asleep. And we're like, oh my God, I can't wait to wake up and count all the monies. And no sales. Like no sales. The first day, the second day, the third day, the entire cart open period. And so I did what any self-respecting 30-something would do, and that I ugly cried for an entire day and day drank because I was like, fuck this noise. This is bullshit. This is not what I signed up for. That was easily my biggest FML moment because the minute it happened, like the minute we woke up to no sales, it was like an insta revelation of like, fuck, we never asked people if they wanted this. And so that was like a moment where you're just like,
I'll just stop here and say that for a minute. I love how non-apologetic you are about this, right? So I see a lot of people, it's like my husband says that a lot, a lot of people talk about their struggles or about their failures, but they talk about it in a way which is actually very flattering. And are you talking about your struggle, or are you trying to tell us how great you are? So I love how transparent and how non-apologetic and how human you are about this failure. So on that note, before we move on, I want to know what you did with that FML moment. So how did you turn that around?
Well, we made like right then and there when we had that realization, and it wasn't pretty. I mean, we were those assholes who told everyone around us that we were about to be internet famous. Like, we're launching a product in T-minus 2 days. We're going to make all the fucking money and you guys are going to bow down. And then none of that happened. And I had to own up to it. So it was humiliating and I felt super defeated and I felt so embarrassed and like I just wasn't good enough, right? And fortunately, I consider myself a pretty resilient chick, and Josh is a pretty resilient dude. I was going to say Josh is as well, but he's not a chick. Right away, we pretty much acknowledged, why the fuck are we trying to teach guest blogging when the business we built before the screw was based around affiliate marketing? Why don't we start teaching that? And so we asked people if they would want to learn about that. It was a resounding yes. And we made a hard pivot, a hard left turn, and only started talking about that at that time. So all of 2014, for the most part, was around affiliate marketing. And we would not have had that aha moment if we hadn't fallen flat on our face, because someone pointed this out to me a few months later. They were like, but if you had made, say, 5 or 10 sales, you would have thought you were doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing and you wouldn't be here right now. But because you fell flat on your face, you had to make those hard decisions and those hard pivots. And that's what got you here to where you are today. So that was an interesting perspective moment for me, because I was like, oh yeah, I guess that was, in hindsight, one of the greatest moments in our business was wanting to die.
You just did that. You just shared, I asked you to share it, but you shared a failure that actually makes me, I'm like, I wish I had that failure. That's amazing. I love that. I love that turnaround. And look where you are today. I am gushing all over you. Okay. Whether you like it or you don't. Again. Whether you like it or you don't. I did that on purpose. Okay. And the last one, which I really want to know, is your biggest WTF moment. Now, I go through WTF moments at the rate of 22 WTF moments a day. And there are a few that are so big and so profound, like the one time when I opened the cart and I had like 10,000 people and I was still hosted on Bluehost and I was paying $3 a month. And then obviously the website crashed. No. And then my husband asked me, he was like, why are you hosted at such a shitty place? And I'm like, I don't know, maybe because I'm cheap. So I have a lot of WTF moments. That was the worst. But I want to know your WTF moments, the breakdowns, the mess ups that I just go through so many. So tell me about your WTF moment.
Well, okay. So, I mean, I'm going to have an obnoxious answer, but I'm sure I do have a ton of WTF moments. They're just a bit minimized. So Josh is a total techie. He plays the tech and automation role inside of our business. So for the most part, he is constantly testing things. So we don't have a ton of WTF moments. I mean, we have very frequent, or not very frequent, but we've had moments where, you know, members' emails have gone out to our full list. I had a crying breakdown over one of those one time back in 2015 because this long ass members email with links to all of our privatized content went out to a full list of, you know, at that time, maybe 15, 17,000 people. And I was like, oh my God, aren't we past this by now? Like, who are we? We're fucking terrible. But fortunately, since that happened, we haven't had too many, but that would probably count as one of my biggest WTF moments. And then like we've had emails go out with call reminders to our members on like wrong days where I'm like, seriously guys, seriously, we've been at this 4 years now. So those little moments, but I haven't had a website crash on cart open day.
It's really interesting. I feel like this interview is only meant to make me look like a sorry ass loser, because that's what's constantly happening. Like every single thing that you throw my way, I'm like, who am I? Why do I exist? Because
meanwhile, you're like, I don't have that engaged group. Meanwhile, you have an engaged group of like hyper rabid fans for you. You have this sick brand. You have like the best words ever written on Facebook ads and landing pages.
Like the gushing, which you latched onto like a rabid animal.
rabid.
Rabid animal. My R's and my T's and my, you know how it is with accents. So let's not go there. You are married to an Australian.
I know. I make fun of his accent all the time. Yeah. I don't make fun of it. I just try to do it. And I love your accent. I'm like, rabid.
Oh my God. Such an asshole. I love you, Jill Stanton. I totally do. Okay, this is becoming
Here's the gushing again, guys.
It's becoming, I don't want to be gushing again. I still have to sleep. Okay, now let's get into the scenarios because this is exciting.
Yeah, this part stresses me out because I don't know what to expect.
Did you see me kind of resettle my butt on the chair? I'm that excited about this. I just want to make sure my butt is firmly planted. Okay, so I'm going to throw you a few tricky scenarios, and I'm hoping they're tricky enough for you because you're like, I don't even know who you are. But what you have to do is you have to tell me how you would persuade the other person, or how would you neutralize that situation if that hits you in the face. So I am going to start, and this is exciting. Okay. Let me start with the one that is, okay. Your product, let's just say you have a product. It does not work the way it is supposed to work. It does not deliver the results that you promised it would deliver. And someone calls you out on that publicly. What would you do?
So I address it publicly straight away. I don't want to say I'd be tempted to delete it out of my group, but I absolutely would probably delete it out of my group and privately message the person. And I'd probably, if my product wasn't delivering on its results, I'd probably email all of the members and offer like a free training session or a masterclass or some sort of private call with Josh and I to help get them back on track and ease any hard feelings and kind of get them moving on the right track, because I would feel fucking terrible if I put out this big, bold promise. I mean, there's so many online right now that you really do have to know your shit and follow up with it and deliver. So I'd easily I would delete that post out of my group, private message the person, and I would shoot an email out to the entire members list and invite them to get on a group call with Josh and I would sit there and answer their questions until everything was rectified, and I would take notes and ask for feedback, and then I'd fix the product so that it actually is delivering on what we promised.
I love how transparent you are with this. I love how transparent, because again, I can understand. I can see you doing that. I can see you going out of the way. I have unfortunately been in situations where I've seen that happen, and I've seen people go into radar silence, like literally have your money. There's nothing you can do. I
think that's the worst.
But that does happen. That is the reality of online business, like you said, because there is so much bullshit out there, and we're constantly trying to kind of clean that bullshit up. So I love your answer. And I also understand the need of not letting it replicate. I have done that, but it snowballs so quickly and becomes so ugly that you're just, so instead of addressing the real problem, you start mitigating that snowball, which is stupid. So I totally get why you would do that.
Well, and you'd still probably have to deal with it over and over and over again instead of just cutting it off at the knees and fixing it. And don't even get me started on the bullshit. I feel like you and I are very like-minded in that way.
I'm coming to the bullshit. I have a question for bullshit so we can express our opinions fully.
Yes. Okay. Let me swear all the swear words.
Okay, first of all, I want to know, has happened to me multiple times, and considering how great your stuff is, I'm absolutely sure it happened to you. So I want to know how you would deal with that. Someone buys your product, someone gets all your stuff, plagiarizes it, and sells it as her own. How would you deal with that situation?
I would certainly get a lawyer to draft up a cease and desist. I would just lawyer up first. Secondly, I would absolutely email that person to let them know. And I would say, because this is what I've done in the past. I've either private messaged on FB or messaged via email. And I said, like, I noticed that this is happening. Looks awfully familiar to our stuff. I would love to get this rectified before it escalates any further. And anytime I've used that wording, now don't take my word for it and only do that if someone does this to you. I still think that you need to lawyer up and take care of things properly and legally like a true business owner. But anytime, I mean, people have copied our name multiple times, sold apparel with it. That sucked.
Oh my God, seriously?
Sold their own t-shirt line.
How stupid
with our logo.
can a person be? Why would you create brand recognition for someone else?
Well, it was just such a weird, and then when I approached them, she was like, I didn't even know it was your brand. I'm like, how'd you find the logo then, fool?
Even the logo?
Yeah, that was that's what they sold, t-shirts with our logo.
I was just going to ask you if of course you've dealt with that. Wow.
Yes, 100% dealt with that. And then one chick, this one was the funniest one, I'd have to say, because I've had people copy actual paid content and my entire Screw You sales page, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense if your stuff is not called Screw You, which is a very cheeky name for a product if you don't own a brand with screw in it. So
yeah,
anywho,
imagine a self-empowerment unicorn sales page that says screw you. I'm like, I don't want to be screwed by a unicorn.
A unicorn self-empowerment page. And the biggest one, my most recent one, was someone started a Facebook group called Screw the 9 to 5 Community, which is what my free Facebook group is called, but then also copied my rules section, my description, and all the other moving parts in there that I have. And so when I approached her about it, she was like 21. I said, like, here's what's happening. We've had the brand since 2013, blah, 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 blah. And she's like, I didn't even know it was your group. Meanwhile, all my copy is on the description and in the newsfeed, or sorry, in the group cover photo. I was like, what? Clearly you did, because you copied it all word for word. So I said, like, you know, I would love to get this dealt with so that it doesn't have to escalate, my usual go-to. And she's like, fuck you, you're pathetic, and blocked me. I was like, well, that didn't go that well. How am I supposed to find her now? Because I didn't take note of her name. And so, yeah, 2 days later it was taken down. But I mean,
I love that story.
Like, why fuck me, and why am I pathetic? Because you stole all my shit, you dickhead.
I love that story. Okay. Someone, which I'm absolutely sure you dealt with that. I dealt with that like yesterday, day before. Okay. I
feel like you deal with people ripping your shit a lot.
Yeah, I deal with that all the time. I think we all do. And it's really stupid, because you can steal generic copy all you want and no one will find out. But if you steal something like screw you, right? Or something like make words your bitch,
yeah,
you are going to find out, because no one uses this shit.
It's so true. We're the only crazy people who swear this much on our sales pages.
Okay, someone buys your program or your membership site or any of your content, downloads it, consumes the content, and then goes and files a chargeback claim with their company. How would you deal with that? I screenshot everything and I fight it tooth and nail, because I'm like, no, fuck that noise. Because here's the thing that's annoying is so many people online bitch about the online entrepreneurs selling this shit, and I get it. Some of them are shady. There's a lot of bullshit, as you and I both feel. But there's also something to say about the shady people who are buying shit and then screwing us out of money for everything that we've delivered on. That's a whole bunch of bullshit as well. That's my next question. Don't answer that. That's my next question.
Okay. Well, I fight those people tooth and nail. And most of the time, I think we have like a 90% success rate, because I'm like, fuck that. No way. I am not letting you do this. That is a whole bunch of bullshit. Anyway, so I fight them.
And you win those claims. And you win those claims. I
started getting our right-hand lady, Naja. We call her the Najinator, because she's ruthless. And she started handling those for us, and she has like 100% success rate so far. So
love that. And again, a lot of people would tell me, oh, PayPal would always side with the buyer. I have 100% success rate with PayPal. If you have evidence and you screenshot everything, then they are not going to side with the buyer. I'm sorry. Okay, next question.
All right, hit me with it.
Public forum. Someone asks you an open question on your opinion on either a program or a person or an ideology. So not necessarily a program or a person, but on ideology that you know is BS, that you know does not work, that you know is bogus and fraud, what would you do? At the risk of, let me complete this, at the risk of offending all the purus. I don't call them gurus, I call them purus because they spew so much poo advice that they should be purus, not gurus. So at the risk of offending all those purus, let me just tell you what, I am a pussy. I am
kind of a pussy too. Well, like here and there. Okay, you go ahead first.
No, you go ahead. You tell me, what would you do in that situation? They're expecting an honest, transparent answer at the risk of offending all the purus. What would you do?
Okay, so I mean, I offend people all the time anyway, so it's nothing new in my world. One thing I would do is absolutely, if I don't believe in it, or if I think it's bullshit, or if it's misleading or irresponsible, which I feel like a lot of stuff is happening right now, which is super misleading and insanely irresponsible on the entrepreneur's end. I call it out. I have zero problem calling out bullshit online. I mean, I remember someone in a Facebook group said, my opt-in converts at 99%. I was like, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
That's fucking bullshit. No, it doesn't.
Unless it's you, your cat, your mom, and your husband that you bribed with, a rompi-pompi. It's not 99%.
It's certainly not 99%. Maybe it's 9.9%, but it ain't 99%. Anyway, so that kind of stuff. But if someone's bad-mouthing a person in there, like, I ain't trying to go ahead and spit fire at people. Yeah. Like, I'm too Canadian for that. So I would be like, you know what? Their way of doing things may not be my way of doing things. And I don't know them personally to make a judgment call like this. And I know how quick this shit can spread like wildfire online. I may not understand or believe in their methodology, but I have nothing to say about that person because they're just doing their thing. And if they started hating on what I'm doing, I'd be like, stay in your lane, homie. Like, yeah. Let me do my thing.
Judge them in your heart. Please tell me you judge them in your heart because
obviously.
Thank you. Like, am I talking to a saint? What the hell is wrong? You do judge.
No.
Them. Thank you.
Of course I mean, we all do. Let's keep it real.
Yeah, we do. People judge us.
Yeah. All the time.
We are so judge-worthy. We are so judge-worthy. We have earned the judgment.
Also, we put ourselves out there. I feel like when you really put yourself out there, you just have to be open to that kind of stuff. And I don't even want to be like, it's kind of like celebrities, but like, it kind of is like celebrities. They put themselves out there. They open themselves up to this sort of shit. It's just like us. We're making, big waves, big claims, big moves. It's bound to attract some people who have ill things to say about us. But that's why I never try and make full-on judgment calls publicly about someone. Yes, I can have my own opinions about it, but if it's the strategy or the promise or anything like that that just seems vastly exaggerated, I will 110% voice my opinion around that, and I would do it straight to their face as well. So and I have no problem saying anything publicly that I would say face to face as well.
I love that.
Basha, you are one hot bitch. How about that? I'll say it publicly and to your face.
Thank you. I feel great. I'm really glad that I'm wearing pants today. So if I'm, driven to get up and dance, I can.
Proud of you. You're adulting so hard today.
Look at the lipstick. Do you see the lipstick? Gosh.
I mean, I was putting makeup on with you on the
saw that. I'm so honored to have witnessed that. Thank you. Okay, we'll wrap this up. You have to tell us. I will tell everyone where they can find you, but you have to tell us where they can throw money at you because that's the most logical conclusion after this. So where can they throw money at you?
Yeah, well, I mean, the easiest way to throw money at me is to head on over to joinscrewyou.com, and that's where you can read about everything we've got going on inside our monthly membership community, which is really just the bee's knees. No offense. I know that you also have
it. It's the beer's paws. It's not the bee's knees. It's the beer's paws. Bee's knees are too small because it's pretty awesome.
Oh, I like to know that. I like that. And I feel like our memberships complement each other because they're very different. So yeah, joinscrewyou.com. That would be the best.
Joinscrewyou.com and her community, and just stick to her like glue because she's so awesome. And by osmosis, maybe you will become awesome too. You sorry ass loser. Thank you so much, Jill, for being here. I totally love you and your energy and your vibe and your ladylike bitchiness, which is always awesome. Thank you so
I
much.
blame it on being Canadian, really.
Yeah, when I went to Canada, I stopped making eye contact with people because everywhere I would look, they would smile at me. And I was like, what the hell is wrong with you? Why are you smiling at me? So yeah.
We're just a bunch of friendly, peacekeeping pot smokers up here.
You're just psychos. Smiling, it doesn't, okay. Thank you so much, darling. I loved having you, and I'm so honored that you took the time.
Thanks so much for having me, B.
Thank you. Bye.